The Arctic was never built for humans. At -70 degrees Celsius, the air itself turned into blades, cutting through fabric, skin, and bone within seconds. Out there, survival was not about strength, it was about seconds, and 1 second was about to change everything. 8-year-old Zayan had come to the Arctic with his father, Dr. Amir Khan, a climate engineer studying dangerous glacier fractures near their remote research camp. That morning seemed calm, the sky clear and the wind quiet, but in the Arctic calm is always a lie. Zayan stood near the entrance of the tent and noticed a strange glimmer near a ridge of ice in the distance. Curious and fearless like most children, he whispered to himself that he would only go for a second. He stepped outside, 1 step, then 2, then 3, and within moments the weather shifted violently. The wind roared, the temperature dropped, and a whiteout swallowed the world. The camp disappeared behind a wall of endless white. Zayan turned around in panic, but there were no tents, no lights, no direction, only blinding snow and screaming wind. He called for his father, but the storm devoured his voice. Fear rising in his chest, he began to run, not realizing that running in deep Arctic snow drains energy faster than anything else. Within minutes, his legs felt heavy, his fingers began to numb, and his breathing became sharp and painful. He stumbled and fell hard into the snow. The cold started stealing him piece by piece. His eyelashes froze, his lips turned blue, and violent shivering took over his small body. Hypothermia had begun. Not far away, a massive polar bear moved across the ice, hungry after 3 days without food. It lifted its head and caught a scent that did not belong: human, weak, dying, easy prey. The bear approached slowly and carefully, its powerful paws silent against the snow. Zayan felt a warm breath against his frozen face and forced his eyes open to see the enormous predator standing over him. The bear circled him, studying the fragile child. One strike would have ended everything. But then the bear heard something else. A faint cry carried through the wind. It froze and listened again. The sound came from behind a snowdrift near a ridge. It was its cub. The bear turned immediately and charged through the snow, digging frantically until it uncovered its small cub partially trapped beneath ice. The cub was alive but weak and shaking. The storm intensified, and the bear looked back toward the boy lying helpless in the open. 2 fragile lives stood before it, one its own blood, the other an intruder, yet both were close to death. In that frozen moment, the hunt became a choice. The bear nudged its cub to stand and slowly walked back to the child. Zayan's shivering had nearly stopped, a dangerous sign that his body was shutting down. The polar bear lowered itself beside him and pressed its massive body against his small frame, blocking the wind and sharing its heat. After a brief hesitation, the cub curled up on the other side, copying its parent. Snow began to gather around them, forming a natural barrier, and inside that small space warmth slowly built. Hours passed in the raging storm while the bear stayed awake and alert, lifting its head at every distant sound, knowing other males roamed the territory. Far above, the sound of helicopter blades cut through the storm. As search teams followed a faint thermal signal detected on their scanners, Dr. Amir Khan had refused to stop searching for his son. When the helicopter finally lowered near the heat signature, the rescuers stepped out and froze in shock. A polar bear was standing guard over the boy. For several tense seconds, no one moved. The Arctic itself seemed to hold its breath. The bear slowly stood, looked at the child, then at the humans, then at its cub. It could have attacked. It could have defended its territory. Instead, it stepped back. 1 step, then another. It gave a soft signal to its cub, and together they turned and walked into the endless white horizon without aggression, without violence, simply disappearing into the storm. The rescue team rushed forward and found Zayan still alive, barely breathing but alive. Wrapped in thermal blankets, he was flown back to camp where warmth and medical care slowly brought him back. Hours later, when he finally opened his eyes, his father leaned close with tears of relief in his eyes. Zayan whispered weakly that the bear was not bad. Outside, the Arctic wind moved across the ice once again, cold and indifferent, but somewhere in that vast frozen wilderness. A predator had chosen mercy over instinct, and in one of the coldest places on Earth, compassion had burned warmer than fear.